do a brief introduction.
No, I will be brief. In fact, there's a bio statement in the handouts to begin with and stuff like that. But my background's in applications development, software design, and I had, as Anne Marie had mentioned, she had loved her career for many, many years. I had been doing this for over 25 years and had loved it. And basically similar to everything you've been hearing today up on this stage, things change. You change, you evolve, the situation you're in changes for one reason or another, and one day that spark started to leave a bit. And so I knew in advance, and what I want to focus on here quickly is just, I knew ahead of time that, several years ahead of time, that I was going to make a transition and a change. I didn't know what at that point in time. Other personal factors jump in because, again, life is unplanned, or if you plan it, it happens to you the way it wants to. And I started to get involved in elder care issues a bit. And as that happened, my eyes started to open to a new possibility. So eventually, a transition point happened where I could leave work, and I did, and started to volunteer for my Council on Aging locally and things of that nature, and eventually got involved with opportunities involving Commonwealth Corps and a group which some of you may know about called SHINE. And I initially was a SHINE counselor, but then got picked up, and I'm now working as a SHINE specialist. And I presume we'll get into details about that.
We will.
So, yeah, I'll leave that aside. But again, I loved what I did, and this is an encore to what I was doing.
Thank you.
My pathway was a bit different. I actually chose the direction after getting involved with an elder parent and getting involved with their experiences. My parent lives far from here. As when we were both younger and she was much more robust and things of that nature, interaction was different. But then there came a time where I had to get involved in managing her life more and more, and a new world opened up. I started to realize just how complex and how hard things can be for our senior citizens. Now, I had been thinking over a course of several years that I did want to make a modification and a change to my career. But I did not know in the beginning that I wanted to pick something that dealt with either gerontology or services in some fashion for our senior citizens. That sort of blossomed more and more as I got involved with the care of my parent, more so. So there came a time where I was preparing more so I would be financially able to stop what I was doing and make a transition. I started volunteering and volunteering for my Council on Aging. Initially, I was a medical escort, a volunteer medical escort, and I started to see need even more as I got involved with that. Started to discover that my local Council on Aging didn't have a friends organization. They didn't have supplemental fundraising and outreach going on, and wanted it very much. So I got involved and helped them form a group like that, and then started to get even more involved in outreach and advocacy for senior citizens. That opened up windows, doors, and turned on lights for me, so I saw more issues and understood things more. Because of the volunteer opportunities I had in involvement, another door opened up for me, which was called Commonwealth Corps. And with Commonwealth Corps, that gave me the opportunity to go to work for Minuteman Senior Services in a certain division called SHINE. Does everyone know what SHINE is? Or
Probably
no,
not.
Actually, because, all right, in 10 seconds. Okay. In 10 seconds or less, it's serving the healthcare information needs of our elders. And basically, we're navigators for the Medicare and Medicaid system. And if you get to that age and you're involved with Medicare, you know that rather than the world becoming simpler, it becomes much more complex for you all of a sudden. There are multiple choices and things like that that you have to start to get involved in. Well, what we do is we help them make those choices in general by providing appropriate, unbiased information to them. And we also can do things for them. For example, if they have complex formularies in the set of drugs they take, we can help them see if they are selecting different providers, what their costs will be like and things of that nature. There's a wide range of areas that we get involved in helping senior citizens with who are under Medicare. We don't just deal with senior citizens, it's people who are on Medicare, so that can be many of the disabled individuals also. The point I'm making there, these are the people who are less robust in our society and do need the attention, and there's a very complicated system for them to get around and navigate. So that's what I am doing, and as far as the transition goes, it took preparation. It was mulling in me. I did not just decide without gaining some experience and volunteer experience through my Council on Aging that I was willing to make this commitment. And as I made the first stage, I liked interacting with SHINE and Commonwealth Corps and took advantage of a lot of the civic engagement programs they had and things of that nature. It went well, and I stayed with Commonwealth Corps, and and I stayed with SHINE, and Minuteman seems to have wanted me aboard, so it's blossoming further, and I don't know where it'll end. And that's my brief story, anyway. Basically, I put myself into things I do, and I have a high energy level and things of that nature. And it was really the fact that I wasn't getting, the passion was being lost in what my original career was. There was a time, as everyone has been mentioning, oh, I loved it. I would jump up and run off to work, and I was involved in an interesting aspect of software design and development using these models which were referred to as multidimensional data models and online analytical processing, and it's really cool stuff, or it was back then. It's probably getting dated by now. But again, something was wiring differently in me as I was helping my older parent. And so the challenge was not so much that I was in my old career and then moving into something else, it's that I was evolving into something else. And as I did shift into elder issues more and more, I got involved in a wide range with them. As I had mentioned, my Council on Aging and getting involved in helping them in outreach and things of that nature, which led into things like SHINE. And SHINE's a commitment. Again, it's something administered by Elder Services of Massachusetts, and there are exams that you need to take constantly and stuff like that. So it's something, it is a commitment, and it's challenging on both ends. But transition-wise, it's just something I evolved to and was ready for.
Sounds like both for you and Polly, at some point a light bulb went off in terms of what might be the right encore career for this moment in your life.
That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably something that you've all heard before over and over again, and that's volunteer, volunteer, and volunteer in a wide range of things. You might find an area that's very emotionally rewarding to you, and then you're going to want to put your energies in that direction. And there's a good bet that if you're volunteering in a particular area and you're excited about it and you're learning about it and things of that, that doors will open up in that area and you'll be able to progress further with it. That's one thing, anyway. And just briefly, this is, oh, I'm sorry. This is very personal to each individual, but there are life-impacting events, life-changing events. You have to be ready for the change. You really have to have gotten to a point, if you're involved in your primary career right now, to a certain point where you're willing to make these adventurous commitments and things of that nature.